Christmas Eve.
Oh no, that's not really an excuse. You probably could have popped into Woolies.
Well, we got a free free, shower gels and stuff from our hotel.
Right, so yes.
We've got a couple of shower caps as well, and
I got some tissues this morning.
Oh, a nice one.
Great, so if you know the band, then expect some Gideon Bibles at Christmas. Okay, so, and you're going to play another tune for us?
Yeah, I'm going to move, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a Scottish folk song that we learned off a brilliant singer and storyteller called Sheila Stewart, and it's called Blue Bleezin' Blind Drunk.
Wonderful there, a song very much about the drunken days you spent as a teenager. She's nice
Getting beaten up by your husband, Becky, it's terrible.
Getting beaten up by your husband?
Actually, and I've changed my answer. Don't go out with horrible and nasty boys.
Oh.
Horrible nasty girls.
That's what you do when you're a teenager, isn't it?
That sounds like there'll be quite a few Dear Diary entries that we would love to read.
You know who you are if you're out there.
Oh my god.
And listen, now someone mentioned that you might be willing to do something that's festive and Christmassy.
Yes, we do have one vaguely cheerful one for Nathan.
Wow, well, do you mind if we play a quick tune so we can all have a good cough?
Yeah.
And then we'll come back and hear that.
Fantastic.
Alright, great. For now, Rachel, I'm thanking the Winterset. Round of applause.
This Christmas on BBC One.
Stevie Wonder's version of the Christmas song. And we will be back to Rachel and the Winterset towards the end of the show for a tune in a more festive mode. Thank you very much indeed to now. For now, we were compiling our list. Harry, you've got apologies to make, I understand.
Yeah, well, it turns out this thing about the Chuckle Brothers. You said from the back of your mind you could remember some unpleasantness, which we then repeated. Apparently, it's just an allegation that some lady made. It was picked up in the press. There's no confirmation that any of it's true whatsoever.
Good. So it's good to know the Chuckle Brothers could still go in there and everyone will be safe.
Yeah, but that lady who made the allegations, we probably won't want her.
Oh, we don't want her in there.
She's not coming. No.
So, we were happy with, we would think of Science Brains. So, just in case you've just joined us, we are putting together a bunker of personnel who can repopulate the Earth, should a meteorite hit and wipe everyone else out. We need a science brain. Any obvious...
I don't know his name, which probably isn't helpful, but it's Dr. Brian something. He's fairly young, and he does programmes that are interesting, yet thoughtful on BBC Two.
I think we need at least both names for this. Just, if only to get in contact with
them. But he's quite young, and fairly, in a strange way, attractive, so that's definitely up there. I'll find out who he is.
I was Johnny Ball.
Sorry, go ahead, Harry.
Yeah, sorry, Johnny Ball? It's got to be Johnny Ball.
Johnny Ball is an excellent
suggestion. That's very good.
And I'll just make a note of that. Again, age is often a problem, of course, because the same problem with Sir Patrick Moore.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think he's a tremendous brain, but would you want to have intimate dealings with Sir Patrick?
Probably wouldn't be able to see the sky at night either, would he, Patrick? So he might be a little under the weather in the bunker.
I think for Johnny Ball, Rev, why not just get Zoe in there? She's young, she's attractive, and she's probably got the science brains.
Well, she could get all the information over this Christmas break from Johnny.
Yeah, write it all down. Dad, write down everything you know about science. There we go. Vorderman?
Vorders. I'm crossing off Zoe, I'm putting in Vorders.
Well, she is on, whether or not she'd bear many more children, or many children, we don't know.
Oh, I'm sure she would.
I'm sure she would.
Don't worry about that. Yeah, Carol Vorderman, she's a tremendous beauty.
Plus, she's
a great brain.
She's out of work now, because of Countdown.
She'll be happy.
So she'll be happy.
Plus, being a woman, she can cook. So, no, that's great, yes. Any more suggestions are welcome. Let me just play this.
Text us on 64046 or email stephen.sixmusic@bbc.co.uk.
Yeah, John Boy in Cornwall, he's a great actor and therefore brilliant at maths. He's a moral and political do-gooder. He's a bigger gladiator than The Rock. He's a hyper-male and super sexy and a near musical genius, Russell Crowe.
Makes sense.
Bit violent.
But Crowe would keep everyone on their toes because of his edgy temperament.
Yeah, if we're looking for people who can multitask as well, people are saying Harry Hill, a proper doctor, and a TV fan.
Perfect. No, Hill is a tremendous idea. And he could take a sideways look at TV.
Exactly. He could do a little kind of review sketch show on the funny things that happened in the bunker that week.
Exactly. Yeah. And we had to eat Richard Madeley because we had no food. That sort of thing.
And if someone fell over in the bunker, he could then, play a bit of music as we remembered it, and perhaps put a right comment on top of it.
That's right.
If Harry Hill needed a nurse, of course, bringing up the sexy quarter, Abby Titmus.
Always a good option. Yes. Medical, sexy. And, yes, no, that's a very good suggestion. Listen, guys, we normally delve into the pigeonhole and listen to some of the big tunes of the week. I thought it only made sense that we cast our ears across some of the big festive tunes. Now, I've not actually heard the recorded version. It's going to divide listeners. Six Music people may well be up in arms, but I thought we should give ourselves a brief snatch of it, see what we make of it. I'm sure there's going to be some very strong opinions from the listeners and from you here. Almost certain to be number one very soon. Here's Alexandra Burke and her version of Hallelujah. Alexandra Burke, of course, Hallelujah, and I'm sure there's people switching off their radios in disgust, but listen, we try to keep you abreast of all new music, and that's a big hitter. So, Sammy, let's turn to you first off.
I'm going to go with Rufus on this one. 7 words in, he just went, I don't like it. That was it, that sums it up for me. It's not right. Listen to that. Did you just hear the key change? Pop-tastic key change. That doesn't happen in Hallelujah. I'm sorry. I was one of the people, the ridiculous people that downloaded Jeff Buckley's version of the week to try and usurp Alexandra.
I was reading in the paper that there was some kind of spontaneous sort of meeting in the centre of London this week. Some fans got together, they were trying to protest, but only about 8 people turned up, so sadly they've not been able to unseat Alexandra from the top spot. Harry, your take?
Well, it's not all bad, is it? It could have been a worse song they picked. Apparently during tough economic times, people tend to prefer sort of slow, steady tracks, which is why I think Simon Cowell picked this and not say something by Aphex Twin or Cornelius for the winner to cover. It's alright, it's no Buckley, it's no Cohen, but, no one's going to die.
Rufus, I know you've always been a big Buckley fan.
Yeah, Buckley's my favourite musician, and I watched him play the song in a small pub in Edinburgh in 1994 with the rest of the band sitting around the drum kit having a beer and a cigarette as he sang this song, and took about 7 or 8 minutes to do it. So anyone who sings this song, apart from him, even Cohen himself, gets the skunk eye from me. So that's, no, this is just nonsense. Switch it off.
Well, let me just put in just throw in something into the mix here. Even if we don't particularly like that interpretation, it is a great song, and why shouldn't it be brought to a wider audience? What's wrong with that? Why are you such snobs?
I just think cover versions, everyone likes the film, Darling for Murder, but if it was remade with, 2 idiots at the helm, there's no point in remaking things which are really good.
It was remade with Gwyneth Paltrow. And Michael Douglas, yeah.
I didn't even know that.
It had a different name, but it was the same film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh dear, and it was also good as well.
Was it?
It's actually
Bad
really good.
choice
So
of film.
you've embarrassed yourself horrifically.
Yeah,
okay, so actually you've chosen the tune for our pigeonhole assessment.
I have. Status Quo.
Right. So you see, now you're already perhaps undoing some of the comments you've already made.
You're quite right. I wish this hadn't happened in this order. I wish that happened in a different part of the show. I get bored of the same rock and roll Christmas classics rolled out every year.
Yeah.
I quite liked The Darkness's attempt at a Christmas song about 2-3 years ago. I think Hawkins was the right man to take it on. I think Christmas deserves a certain level of irony and a certain level of kind of gung-ho, kind of advocate, bull-strinking spirit. And this is good. This is fun.
Okay, so what is it?
It's called This Christmas Time. That's by Status Quo.
Steve Show plays Status Quo. It's Christmas time. We're in the pigeonhole just listening to some of the big Christmas tunes this year. And that was Rufus's choice. He's apparently a massive fan.
I'm not a massive fan of Status Quo, but I remember when Bob Geldof was talking about why he chose them to open Live Aid. He was like, you needed guys in denim just rocking out, and sometimes you just want to just tap your feet and jump up and down. I know that Six Music listeners will go berserk at the idea of play Status Quo, but it's Christmas stuff,
As you said, there's not been a decent sort of festive hit with Christmas in the title for some time, as far as I can tell. Most people are saying that Mistletoe and Wine was the last big hitter. Sammy, your take?
Normally, if they'd released that without the bells and without the Christmas theme, that would be inexcusable tact. But my goodness, I enjoyed that.
Really?
Yeah, it's got Christmas all over it. It reeks of Christmas ridiculousness. That is the musical equivalent of a bit of tinsel.
What I like about you, Sammy, is that looking at you right now, if this was about 1984, I can imagine you being a massive Quo fan. One of the people right down the front, fancies Rick Parfitt, screams, made a sign. God bless you. That's what makes this country great.
Yeah, what I resent about it is the fact that if you only release a Christmas single, then I only remember to hate you at Christmas. Why not release something every month so I can remember to hate you the whole year round?
I've not yet heard this final tune in the Pigeonhole. It's The Killers teaming up with Elton John, and I believe Neil Tennant is also involved.
It's the Dream Team.
It is the obvious Dream Team. Joseph, Better You Than Me.
Well, your eyes just haven't been the same, Joseph. Are you bad at dealing with the fame? Looking for God, and you climb to the
So there we are, The Killers teaming up with Elton John and I think Neil Tennant for a tune called Joseph, Better You Than Me. Sammy, I'm wondering, what was the reason for that?
I think the reason for that is a lot of people have got flu this time of year and they start hallucinating, and I think if plenty of people hallucinate the same thing at the same time, it happens, and that's what happened there.
It would make sense if there was some kind of animated Santa and it had been lifted from a Disney cartoon. Otherwise, I don't know what's going on.
No, I think the idea is if you've got elderly relatives who are starting to be a burden, you can play them that and hopefully it might finish them off.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. So, once again, Elton doing a public service, that's great. Rufus, you probably love Elton John.
I've never had a strong opinion of John, but I feel that he's completely blown up with his own pomposity now, and unless he was dressed as Santa performing that, there'd be absolutely no point in playing the song at all.
Well, there we are, The Killers, Elton John, Neil Tennant. You'll, I'm sure, have made up your own opinion. We've moved back out into the hub for a final tune from Rachel Unthank and the Winter Set. Round of applause. Thank you so much, guys, for hanging around. And so we'll get straight on with it, if you don't mind. Something festive you were promising.
Yeah, George, and no, he's called George, that's it. And the song's called Tar Barrel and Dale, and it's all about a fire festival having Northumberland and Allendale, where the men of the village get dressed up in fancy dress and then chuck tar barrels on a big bonfire. That's the abbreviated version.
Wow. Does that correlate with Christmas, or...?
Yeah.
New Year. That makes sense. Yeah, something New Year-ish.
Best we can do.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, guys, for even bothering. Thank you so much.
Tar barreled fortune be with you.
Thank you very much indeed to Rachel Unthank and the Winter Set, and we will be back next week with a retrospective of the year.
On digital, online, BBC.
So, did you have a blinking good Christmas, everyone? Yeah, round of applause for Christmas. It's a joyful time of year. Steve Show 6 Music, thank you very much indeed for joining us. It's live on tape, I'm afraid to say, because we're off probably going berserk with our families. Not in that way. I don't know what that means. That was just weird. No, what I meant was, you know, just having a wild old Christmas time. So we should start again. Start
You're not getting edgy,
stop
are you,
again.
Steve?
I wasn't intending to be edgy. You know, I'm very anti-edgy. Yes, Steve Show, thank you so much for joining us. As I say, we're not here live, so please don't email and text and get the BBC in trouble. Let's have a quick round of applause for everyone who's come in. Yeah, they didn't have to. Tiny Dan's here.
Hi.
Good Christmas?
Oh, it was lovely. It was
Absolutely.
lovely. I can't keep up this deceit, not to the listeners. I don't know. I haven't had it yet. All the signs are at the moment that it's going to be a blinder.
Is it going to shape up well?
It's looking good, but I'll get back to you.
All right, thank you very much. Rufus, I imagine you love Christmas on the manor.
It was wonderful, Steve. We dress up in Dickensian costume in my house.
Of course.
And rosy-faced cherubs press their faces against the glass of our frosted windows as we rub our hands in front of the fire.
You say Dickensian costume, or as it's known in your family, some clothes. Also, from the north, I mean, I don't know what was Christmas Day up there, a baked potato?
And we stood round a burning car and sang the dirty version of Jingle Bells.
And also, I don't know if you remember last year, if you've bothered to listen to any shows in the past, you may remember that I think pretty much exactly this time last year, we welcomed an actor who'd had a glorious year. He'd been in the Oscar nominated from The Queen, and he'd had, you know, success in the play Frost Nixon. It was Michael Sheen. Anyway, Sheeny's only come back again, hasn't he?
Come on.
Round of applause for Sheeny, he's here.